Hi, my name's Ben. This is my 2022 Mini Electric Level 2, and you're watching EV Powered. Let's go. Behind me is my Mini Electric. I've owned this vehicle now for coming up to 2 years. And in this video, we're going to be looking at some things that I absolutely adore, as well as some things that maybe I'm not a big fan of. So we're at the front of my Mini Electric, and I love to look at the front of vehicles like faces. This car has some really wide eyes, and it just looks like a really happy car, which is, for me, I really, really like that aspect. One of the things that I found as well is that it has a really prominent, almost like a stubby front end. So on this car, I've actually applied PPF, not myself, of course, but so paint protection film to really protect the front of this vehicle. And I've kind of gone to town with this. So the bonnet, the bumper, the front headlights, we've also got the wings, we've got the mirror caps as well that have been PPF. And inside the door handles as well. Now, I don't wear rings, but hey, if someone's jumping in my car and they're wearing rings, I know that it's kind of protected. Now, the strange thing is, where I live, cats seem to outnumber the amount of people that live on my street. So whether these cats have got together and thought, we're going to be putting together this Olympic sport, we're going to be jumping off sheds and rooftops onto my car, this seems to be, word seems to have spread. So since taking delivery of my car, I've actually had the pillars at the front, the rear pillars, and the roof PPF'd as well. Not that I ever plan on landing on my roof, but these cats are actually the bane of my life. So the roof is actually protected as well. Oh, and by the way, this registration plate of mine here is meant to say charged. The amount of people that have asked who Jed is, my name's Ben, by the way. Yeah, that's meant to say charged. So yeah, I might rethink that one next time. So not only is my car protected with PPF, there is ceramic coating, which has been applied to the other panels that I haven't mentioned. Now, going back to the aesthetics, I personally love this element just here. I'm not sure what you'd call it. Maybe it's an indicator scuttle, I'm gonna guess. The actual, I guess, design of the panel itself, there is actually a natural curve that element of design follows as well. And I don't know why maybe Mini didn't do this from the beginning, but I think it looks absolutely epic. Now, when I collected this car, there was one main aesthetic element that I wanted to change straight away, and that was the chrome belt line. Now, the belt line runs right the way around the car, right the way around, as we can see. And for me, it stood out, but not for the right reasons. Now, I know it's a very Mini thing, I guess, but straight away wanted it to be black because I think it just works so well with the other black elements around this car. And this car, even though it was built in 2022, is actually showing its age. The fact that this vehicle can't charge particularly quickly, it has a really small battery. A lot of people, in terms of its range, would scare lots of people off and away. This car, according to Mini, can do up to 145 miles, and that is not a big deal, if I'm honest. I love that I can do my daily journey in this car and charge at home, no issues at all. So range isn't actually a big deal. I've done some epic road trips in this car. This is why I gel with it so well. I feel like it knows me and I know it. And public charging's never been an issue either. So in terms of living with the car and taking it long distances, yeah, this car can do all of that kind of thing. Now, a design element at the rear of the Mini, so this is the F56 platform, are these Union Jack taillights. Some people absolutely love them. That's me, by the way. But some people have a real problem with them. When they light up, when you put your foot on the brake pedal or when you release the accelerator pedal and the regen comes into play, I know that this looks epic. I've been behind other Minis before when they're braking and I think it looks sensational. I really do. So I drive everywhere in this car in what Mini call green mode, which is like eco mode, I guess. My daily requirements mean that I do cover a fair amount of distance in a day, and Eco just helps me in lots of different ways. It stops the rear wheels from spinning up. It conserves energy when I need it to. And there's also one more level again called Green Plus, which is essentially like a get me home mode, where it will sort of cut off any sort of ventilation within the car and only use the really important features and functions that you'll need. Normal mode, it kind of balances efficiency with performance, and a lot of people would understandably spend most of their time in normal because it frees up the throttle pedal a little bit more. But sport is an absolute animal. Put it into sport and this car just becomes a completely different car. Everything from just wanting to put a huge smile on your face on a B-road blast, right the way down to needing that extra power when you need it. And it's all available through these incredible switches down here. So I know a lot of manufacturers are opting for more touchscreen ways and means of actually accessing these features and functions. But to me, I think this is very mini. I love that there are toggles, there are switches, there are things that give you confidence to know that when you select something, it's been selected, as opposed to pressing something and not really knowing what's going on. So Mini have definitely retained that mininess, if you like, in this car. So drive modes and also regenerative braking, for me, these are the two things that put a huge smile on my face every single time I get into it. It's an absolute riot to drive like this. How can you not love this? How can you not love what this car gives you? I mean, seriously, it makes me laugh so much, and just a little toggle and away you go. One thing that I am gonna say though, I'm a big fan of these 17-inch wheels, I really am. But they are an absolute nightmare. Let me tell you why. This is probably, I think it's the second vehicle now that I've owned which has these awesome black wheels. And it seems like I didn't learn my lesson from before, because the first 2 or 3 months of ownership of this Mini Electric, I was so worried about scratching them. Honestly, I felt like I was gonna have a mental breakdown. Seriously, I like my car clean, and I really, really dislike scratches on my wheels. I drive like a chauffeur now in this car. So I think from an aesthetic perspective, it looks epic, but it has come with a few pain points, should we say, about trying to not just keep them clean, but also scratch-free as well. Now, when it comes to regenerative braking, this is either on, very on, 100% on, or maybe 60%. So it will come to a complete stop using one pedal, and I use that a lot. But on the motorway, I'll dial it back for their low energy recuperation mode. So it really prompts and allows the vehicle to glide or sail whenever it possibly can. Going back to how this car is compromised and showing its age, the gear selector's down in the center here, where a lot of vehicles now, especially in this segment, the gear selector is elsewhere in the car, generally on the steering column as well. Just frees up a lot of space, and this car has a transmission tunnel as well. I don't know what's under there, no idea. But that can impact on space within the cabin. And I'd have liked to have maybe seen something different from Mini for the electric car, rather than just using the platform which was shared with its internal combustion engine compadres, should we say. It's partners in crime within that range. For me, I think that the digital screen in front of me is slightly to the left, which is, I always think that my steering, there's something wrong with my steering because I'm looking ever so slightly to the left, and I'm wondering if I need a 4-wheel alignment, which is never helpful. I'd like to spend as little money on things like that as possible. The steering wheel is amazing. Again, very chunky, lots of feedback through the wheel, and there aren't lots of buttons to press on the steering wheel as well. For me, that really works. I think you can get overcomplicated when it comes to the steering wheel, and there can be a lot of things going on there, but this, just the right amount of things that I need. The central display here obviously harks back to the original Mini with that huge central display here. I don't really use the onboard infotainment system. I'm not a big fan of it, if truth be told. I only really ever use it when I really, really need to. Great example of this is tire pressures, for instance. I need to actually go into the vehicle's onboard system to be able to adjust, etc. But 9.999 times out of 10, it's Apple CarPlay. It takes up the full screen. Use Google Maps. So easy to use. When I was looking at the electric kind of landscape, when I went from the internal combustion engine Mini to this vehicle, first of all, I would have loved to have had 4 doors. This car does not have that. And I think Mini have lost out in terms of not being able to offer an electric version of their 5-door hatch. But what I think is that, would Mini have retained that go-kart handling, that iconic handling that makes these vehicles so special? I don't think they would have achieved it in a 5-door version, especially with a heavier battery. So Mini have had to make compromises. But I actually admire the brand for doing that. Now this car, in terms of space, it's a Mini. There's no getting away from the fact that this is a Mini. There is no space in the back. There is pretty much no boot. And you know what? I don't care. This for me is a car that I'm in just myself 99% of the time. There's only been 1 or 2 occasions where I wished I'd had a little bit more space. But this car does everything I need it to. The one thing that I would say in terms of this car, I definitely feel like Mini have purpose-built this car for me. I use it like a 2-seater sports car. Just me in the car, don't have to worry about the back, don't have to worry about the boot. Not an issue. Throw some bags in the boot, fine, you're done, no problem. So how do I feel about my car? How do I describe this? If you've got a dog who is really annoying, yapping at you all the time, this is what this car is like. It's annoying in a lot of instances, and it does a lot of things well, but it definitely has things which I would change next time around. This is certainly a car that you're going to buy with your heart rather than your head. If you're thinking about electric vehicles, yes, okay, it is compromised and it is going to drive you mad, but it's like a little yappy dog. It puts a huge smile on my face and does so many amazing things for me. And if I had the opportunity to purchase this vehicle outright and live with it forever, I absolutely would. I absolutely would. It's the best car I've ever owned. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and look out for more videos coming to the channel very, very soon. Thanks for watching.